Hello, this is Kristen Sambita, Instructional Technology Specialist, and today I'm going to be presenting Conley Hills Elementary School 5th grade Language Arts Data Overview. The purpose of this overview is for 5th grade teachers to review the achievement of the Georgia Milestone Assessment for Language Arts. We will be comparing how the Conley Hills students performed in relation to the district and state. We will also look at the 5th grade Language Arts scores by demographics, and we will discuss results and make recommendations for the future. Let's begin by looking at the CCRPI scores for the last 3 years for the school, district, and state. The state of Georgia CCRPI remains steady, but increased from 74.7 to 75 from 2015 to 2017. Fulton County has increased from 74.7 to 78 since 2015. Conley Hills CCRPI scores has decreased from 80.2 to 58.5 since 2015. I pose the question, what could be causing the decline? Let's dig a little deeper into the CCRPI and look at the SGPs. The SGPs describe the amount of growth a student has demonstrated relative to academically similar students from across the state. In 2015 and 16, students grew more than 60% of 5th grade students with a similar history of ELA achievement, but in 2017, 70% of academically similar students grew more than students at Conley Hills. Why are our students not growing? To answer this question, we're going to dig deep into the data. Let's start by looking at the staff demographics. Conley Hills total staff members grew from 56 in 2014-15 to 70 in 2016-17. The reason for the increase was to add more EIP teachers to support learners that were struggling. Additionally, the ELL population grew, so the staff needed more ESOL teachers, and the school added additional autism units. The majority of the staff is female. Let's continue by looking at staff experience. Conley Hills educators are averaging more than 10 years of experience for the last 3 years. The racial breakdown of the staff indicates that the majority of the educators for the last 3 years are Black. More than 75% of the school's educators have advanced degrees. Now let's look at the student demographics. In the 2015-2016 school year, the district rezoned students. There was a group of students who were attending Conley Hills while their school was rebuilt. When the construction project was complete, they returned to their school. Conley Hills received a new population of students. In the 2014-15 school year, the school had 551 students. That increased to 758 in 2015-2016 and 751 in 2016-17. Consider the rezoning. How could this impact student learning? And ethnicity of Conley Hills students has also been changing. The Black population of students is declining, and the Hispanic population is increasing. The student mobility rate increased from 35.1% of students mobile in 2014-2015 to 45.7% of students mobile in 2015-2016. Also, there's a slight increase of students absent 6 to 15 days and a decrease of students absent 5 or fewer days. How has the mobility rate and school attendance impacted student achievement? Let's consider that. Student discipline and total incidents at Conley Hills are steadily rising. In 2016-2017, out of 797 students, Almost 8% of them had in-school suspension, and a little under 10% of them had out-of-school suspension. Is increasing discipline incidents affecting student learning? Retention rates are increasing in male students and decreasing in females. Retention rates decreased for black students in the 2015-16 school year, but increased in the 2016-17 school year. Overall, retention rates decreased from 2015-2016, which was 19 students, to 2016-2017, which was 11 students. Conley Hills has several educational programs. Most of these programs are remedial programs. The ESOL and limited English proficiency are increasing. The EIP decreased from 2015-16 from 50% to 41% of the school, and the gifted population has decreased from 4% in 2014-15 to 1.8% in 2016-17. I pose the question, what are we doing to enrich students? Let's look at the 5th grade ELA milestone assessment for 2015. In 2015, 55 students were tested at Conley Hills Elementary School. At the school, we're scoring below the district and state level for developing learners and above and proficient learners and above. The majority of the students were beginning and developing learners. In the 2016 school year, 84 students were now tested. We are continuing to score below the district and state level for developing learners and above and proficient learners and above. The majority of the students were beginning and developing learners. In the 2017 school year, 81 students were tested. We are still continuing to score below the district and state level for developing learners and above and proficient learners and above, and the majority of the students were beginning and developing learners. The 5th grade ELA Conley Hills Milestone Assessment data for 3 years looks like the following. If you note, the beginning learners have increased from 2015 to 2017. The developing learners and proficient learners have decreased from 2015 to 2017. And you might at first glance at the data and note that the developing learners in 2015-16 school year increased. But when you look closely at the data, you note that the proficient learners and above decreased, so they probably moved from proficient and above to developing and above. Also, the distinguished learners rose slightly in 2016-2017, but the distinguished learners decreased from 2014 to 2017. Let's look at the students with disabilities data for 3 years on the 5th grade ELA milestone. The beginning learners have increased from 2015 to 2017. All other achievement levels have decreased. The proficient learners increased from 0 to 4.3 in 2016-2017. One question I want to ask is, why are students with disabilities not progressing? 5th grade ELA milestone limited English proficiency data for 3 years shows that the beginning learners have decreased for the last 3 years, the developing learners have increased for the last 3 years, the proficient learners have increased from 2014-15 school year to 2016-17 school years, and the distinguished learners have decreased slightly. So the question I want to ask are, why are students with limited English proficiency progressing? So now we're going to disaggregate the milestone data in 2017 by race. In 2017, there were 39 Black or African American students tested. 51% of them are beginning learners, and 49% of them are developing proficient and distinguished learners. In 2017, there was 38 Hispanic students tested. 37% of the students are beginning learners, and 63% of the students are developing proficient and distinguished learners. The following questions as we dig deeper into the data. Where are the current strengths and weaknesses in 5th grade ELA? Which groups of students are struggling the most in 5th grade ELA? How can the data team use the data to improve ELA instruction? How can ELA teachers help all students perform? Thank you. This concludes the data overview for 5th grade ELA teachers.